What's up, guys? I got a video request for you again today. Yeah, people are asking upon my powers of wisdom. Opex, please shout us out in your videos. I don't know, I'm just saying shit just to say shit now. But it is a cold, windy day today, and of course, with these winds, it's like literally like over 60-mile-an-hour gusts. So you're definitely going to have some wind turbulence in the background, and I do apologize if it becomes overwhelming. I will redo this video and obviously not upload this garbage if it becomes garbage. I'm going to sip my coffee. God, it's windy, it's fucking cold. Took a shower. In between walking out of the Pilot and coming to my truck was a total of 40 seconds tops. Right? I was out there. Hair froze over. Little cold, don't you think? Anyways, let's dive into the request. Actually, this is a double request video where both subscribers asked for me to do this request. So, Summer91 asks, can you do a video dealing with bad traffic as a truck driver? Most certainly can. Don't want to be the douchebag, but I have a lot of subscribers, and I deal with a lot of comments. If you just had any clue on how many comments I deal with, it's outrageous, and most of the comments are not from subscribers. But, so this actually got lost in the void of my comment threads and my notifications. It's actually a request from over a month ago. So I do apologize on that. But at least I'm getting to it today thanks to Alabama Chick, who actually seconded this request, which threw me for a loop because I was trying to find this request video for like, I don't remember, a few minutes one day. I was like going through, I was like, I know this is there, and I couldn't find it. But thanks to Alabama Chick, who seconds the request. Essentially, she's saying that she saw a bunch of cars cutting off semis on videos and such, and there's a lot of her in a wreck commercials geared towards semi-truck wrecks and how you can make the most amount of money from it. But the point is, yes, I can do this request, and I apologize for the wind turbulence, but it is going to be what it's going to be. If it becomes too overwhelming, I'm just going to, after this video, look at the quality, and, you know, I will determine if this is okay to put up there or not. And into the YouTube void. I'm going to sip this coffee and determine my thoughts. So, let me reread this. Bad traffic. So, traffic is only bad under a few scenarios. One, traffic jams, which would be derived from an accident. It can be construction. It can be you just going into a major city like Chicago, Dallas, LA, Atlanta, etc. Right? And bad traffic essentially just means that there's a bunch of idiots. The higher yield of people, the more dense the population, of course there's going to be much more idiot drivers, bad drivers. Now I noticed the second I get into California, especially Southern California, or up in the Sacramento region, or San Francisco or whatever. In California, I noticed this a lot, that the second I get into the state, bad drivers just go everywhere. They're everywhere. And the main reason is because, of course, California has, what, 40+ million people in the state? And if you really look at the state and where they are, the population, it's San Diego, Los Angeles, Oakland, you know, little pockets in California. California's a huge state, but they do not spread out in that state. They are densely populated in certain areas. So, the second you hit Sacramento, let's say, boom, all of a sudden, tons and tons of traffic. There's going to be people cutting you off, especially in California, because you're only allowed to go 55 miles an hour in a semi-truck in that whole state. And the cars are allowed to go 70. So there's a 15 mile an hour discrepancy, difference. Because when these cars are trying to go 70 or even more, because 70 means 75, even 78, and trucks are governed or controlled at 55, limited, well, they're going to try to weave in and out of trucks. When they see a truck, they hate a truck. Straight up. So, how you combat this is very simple, and you got to understand two things. These two things are going to be everything for this video. And once you got these two things down and you understand these two things, you should not be able to get into an accident. One of the two most important things you need to understand. It takes two to get into an accident. I learned this at a very young age. It takes two to get into an accident. Meaning, car goes into your lane or goes in front of you and slams on their brakes. You are still at fault as well. Because you didn't take care of your defensive part of driving. You are an aggressive driver or a unaware driver. See, the second thing would be if you put yourself in the mindset of every driver on the road, everyone, no matter if they're driving a truck, a car, whatever vehicle, motorcycle, think of it as they are trying to hit you. They are going to do everything in the book to hit you. They're going to go in front of you and slam on their brakes. Happens to every truck driver known to me. The way you combat this is that know that they don't know how to drive with trucks. They don't. They legitimately have no idea how to drive with trucks. They just look at you as an annoyance and an occurrence that shouldn't even be there. A disturbance, rather. I'm going to sip my coffee. And if you realize these two things, you are going to understand what you need to do at all times. So, I'm going to repeat this real quick so we can move on. Drivers don't know how to deal with you. They are essentially going to get everyone killed. What you need to do is, once you start seeing that the traffic's starting to pick up, you see somebody starting to go around you, or going like in the drive-by you lane, the second they get in front of you, slow down a little bit. I know it's going to waste a second of your day, but do it. Now, when I made that video, my 3 tips for professional drivers, I legitly figured most of you guys, professional drivers, people that have been on the road, people that are very aware and empathetic and understand the antics of drivers, would understand why I would do those certain tips. I would do those certain maneuvers. I would not do it when the road conditions are bad. I would not do it if I'm in a major city or heavy traffic. I would not do it under bad circumstances. You gotta be doing it during 2-lane highways where you only see 3 vehicles on the road. That type of shit. But, or even a little bit more than that, you know, but the point is not in heavy traffic. In heavy traffic, you're gonna be going slow as nails anyways. Snails. It just felt like a tongue twister, slow as snails. But the point is, if you go slow, then you have more reaction time. Obviously, leave a little bit more room. I know what you guys are thinking, especially you truck drivers. You leave a fucking inch, and those cars are going to be sliding in there and slamming on their brakes. And then you're twice as fucked. Yes. But it's better to be doing that than you leaving a little bit of space, just a tiny bit, like a couple feet, and some car is already nosing in on your blind spot. You understand? If you are driving bumper to bumper with someone and they slam on their brakes, which do happen, cars, for example, obviously have a faster slowing down speed. They slow down faster. That feels like an oxymoron. It slows down faster than a semi-truck. And because semi-trucks slam on their brakes and then you go slower, you may fuck up your load. There's 101 different reasons why you should leave a little bit of space. Now, the problem I see, especially by truckers, which need to not do this, is go bumper to bumper. They'll do this all the time in heavy traffic. They don't want anyone to merge in front of them because it pisses them off, because it slows them down for 1 to 2 more seconds that day. Don't do that. Stop being in such a hurry. When you're in bad traffic, do not be in a hurry, and do not try to make sure no one can get into your lane, because you know everyone's going to go into your lane. Everyone's going to slide into your lane. If you leave an inch, they will fucking go into your lane, slam on their brakes. It will happen. That's why you go slow. And the second you see someone merging, start slowing down. The reason for this, especially a truck behind another truck, you can't see in front of you. If that truck is lighter than you and slams on their brakes, you have no chance to recoup. All because what? You didn't want someone to go in your lane? Come on now. It's stupid. It is stupid to not leave room in front of you. I don't care if you're going 5 miles an hour or 100 miles an hour. It is stupid to do such. Again, it takes 2 to get into an accident. If you keep the mindset of every single person is going to merge and slam on their brakes. When you go up a hill and that car's like, okay, that truck's going slow, I'm just going to go in front of it right now. And you're going down a hill at 80,000 pounds, going down 7-8% grade. Yeah. And imagine if your brakes aren't working very well. Start slowing down. Make sure that that car in front of you has plenty of room. Try to get over. Always be aware of your surroundings. Make sure that you have a lot of distance from these other vehicles, especially in heavy traffic. See, the main problems are that people are aggressive drivers. They are not cautious, defensive drivers. What I do, especially as an aware empath, is I look and know the antics of every vehicle on the road, even when I'm making a video. I know what everyone's plan is. I see the pickup truck behind me. If I left, for example, I'm not in heavy traffic right now, therefore I make videos. I don't make videos in heavy traffic. But I was passing another truck. If I kept being in that left lane, that truck guaranteed, this pickup truck, guaranteed would have slid past between me and the other semi-truck and went forward and tried to pass me on the right side. Well, it's very obvious. The second I know that I'm past that vehicle, I need to get over, I need to have my blinker on, or else that guy is going to go into this lane and you know, there's a passing side and a suicide. He doesn't know any better. He's an idiot. He doesn't consider you. And because they don't consider you, you're going to be in the way. And they're not going to understand why you're even on the road. They're not going to understand why you can't see them. Because they can see you totally fine just by turning their head. Look at what happens when I turn my head. Nothing. I see nothing. I need to put my head all the way over here to see this much. So you need to also understand that no matter what, there are going to be vehicles trying to pass you on the right. Don't just put on your blinker, look to the right, look forward, look to your left, and then turn right or something. You need to know 100%. I have 3 mirrors here, right? I'm looking at all 3 of these mirrors. One, you know, my front near the headlight mirror. Then the side mirrors, I have the far away one and the closer one. You need to look at all 3 of those mirrors. You can't look at 1 or 2. You can't. And you can't look at the mirror and look away. Because that split second is when someone's going to pass you on the suicide. It's going to happen. Especially in heavy traffic. So my advice for you is not be the asshole in the left lane for too long. Do your passing, get into the travel lane. Now, in heavy traffic, a lot of trucks decide to go into one lane to the left of your ramp lane, the get on and off the highway lane. So you cruise into that lane. That is the best lane. So if a lane shuts down to your left or right, you are fine, right? That is the general gist. And if you stick to that mentality, that's good. Unless you need to get off, then by all means, if you know you're going to need to go in the left lane or the right lane and you're in heavy traffic, get in that lane as soon as you can. Don't be listening to a podcast and forget that you're... Pay attention. Be aware. It's important. Again, it takes 2 to get into an accident. If you get into an accident, it is your fault. There is a reason why there's people that have been driving trucks for 10 to 30 years, 3 to 7 million miles, 0 accidents. There's a reason for it. And then, if you're not paying attention, and you think that, oh, they're just... I've heard this one guy. He's a mechanic. He's a good friend of mine. He's like in his mid-40s, maybe a little older. Good buddy of mine. He's a mechanic. And he told me, like when I said, I was telling him about truck driving a few years ago. And he says, I said something like, I don't know how we got to this, but I said something like, I can't merge in traffic, and it bothers the fuck out of me because there's no room. And he said this blanket statement as if it was true. He goes, oh, you just push them over. You're the big truck. You just push them over. You just merge that lane, and then they can't do nothing about it. Wrong. Don't do that. Don't be an aggressive driver. I'm telling you. I see it all the time. There's going to be a car or truck that's not paying attention to you. It will happen. They're going to slam right into you. Don't bully your way through traffic. You'll see these other trucks doing it. You'll see these other trucks bumper to bumper. Don't fucking do that. You're just asking for problems. Talk to that motherfucker who's been driving for 3 to 7 million miles, 0 accidents. Talk to that motherfucker. That motherfucker will tell you, do not go bumper to bumper with people. Do not bully your way into lanes. If there's somebody trying to pass you on that left side, don't cut them off because you're pissed off that the person in front of you is going 3 miles an hour less than you. Don't do it. What I do, I go 80, right? I know that I'm one of the fastest trucks on the road. I know this. But if there's a truck in my left lane that's going 75 and I'm going 80, I'm not going to bully him over unless I know 100% sure that there's a lot of room for it. Okay? If there isn't, I'm going to let that person go by, and then I will go past the person in front of me, and then I will eventually pass that person. If you stick to a defensive, cautious driving attitude, nothing will go wrong. Why won't anything go wrong, you ask? Because that person sliding into you or making bad decisions, you're 10 moves ahead of them. Think of chess. I'm right now in a 2-lane highway, right? You always got to think of a scapegoat. If this person starts sliding with their 4-wheeled vehicle that sucks in the snow, and they think that, you know, they're 17 years old, it's their first winter or whatever, And they think, oh, I see other people driving fast, not thinking of snow tires, not thinking of the weight, not thinking of front wheel drive, not thinking about how much problems this vehicle's going to have in the snow. And they're going, once I see that shit, I see this shit a mile behind me in the rear view. Oh, that car's going fast. When that car gets near me, I'm going to slow down. I'm going to get into another lane, you know, something that has access to a shoulder, which will have access to a whole nother, essentially, lane, or at least a half lane where I can swerve out of the way. It's important that you have a scapegoat. If you do not have a scapegoat, what is going to happen is you're going to be falling victim to an accident. And it will be your fault in my eyes, because you are not a defensive driver. You are not paying attention to these other vehicles. I know exactly what's coming up, a mile ahead of time. Why? Because we sit higher as semi-trucks. Pay attention to what's out there. Pay attention to what's behind. I know there's two vehicles behind me, about half a mile behind me, and in front of me, about half a mile, there's two vehicles. So I'm going to stay right here to the right. I'm not going to clog up the passing lane. I'm not going to make any bad decisions. And it's very important to realize when you're in traffic, start slowing down fast. There are going to be vehicles that are going to be going ahead of you and slamming on their brakes. It will happen every day. Every time you go through Chicago, every time you go through New York City, every time you go through Boston, every time, there's going to be a four-wheeler that's trying to kill you. There's going to be 100% of the time if you go through traffic. So realize the importance of defensive driving, and in the importance of, I'm not just saying leave room for everyone to get fucking over, but leave room to where you can slow down. And if you can't slow down, problems, right? How many times have you went around a corner and all of a sudden you're in stop traffic and you had to slam on your brakes, and then you got to swerve to the shoulder, and you barely missed the vehicle in front of you? Happens all the time. You think everything's fine, you look down for a second, you look up, and you're in stop traffic. Or you're going around a bend or a curve, and right at the corner of the turn, everyone's stopped, and there's nowhere for you to go except through them. You gotta pay attention to this shit. You're going around a corner, slow the fuck down. Even if you think that you can make it with the speed that you're going, slow down. There's no fucking rush. And if you're late to your fucking, if you're going to be late for your appointment, for whatever reason, contact your dispatcher right away. There's no reason to risk your life for an appointment date. And if your dispatcher yells at you or something, be like, hey, you're not even my boss. I'm doing what I can do. You know, we're in stop traffic. I'm not going to be plowing through these vehicles just to make it to the appointment on time. It's just stupid. It's all stupid. And definitely say to your dispatcher, hey, you're going to have to give me more time. You can't just set these appointments during bad weather, or you know I'm going through Chicago. You know I'm going through these areas. You know, set the appointment, you know, set the appointment at a reasonable time where I can get there in time. So, slow the fuck down. Now, this definitely can go into all different types of aspects of trucking. Slow down. There is no fucking race. The main problem is that people believe that you can just drive a semi-truck and people will get out of your way. Wrong. People aren't even knowing you're there. Yeah, you're the hugest fucking thing on the road. You know how many people fucking hang out in the corner of my trailer and block me in? Every fucking day. People hang out in the corner of my trailer and just hang out there. I'll have my blinker on, and they'll just, they don't know what's going on. And if I go into the left lane to pass the guy on my line, how many times do they fucking, oh, well, I can't believe a truck just got in front of me, and they try to go through the suicide lane. And then they want to hit the fucking car right there because they can't brake in time. Happens all the time. People, you got to understand what they can see and understand that even if they could see something, like for example, we have a blind side, they have a blind side. If you're in front of them, they don't know what's going on in the lane next to you. If you understand that, then you can prevent a lot of accidents. They aren't able to see in the lane next to you, but they will put their foot right on that fucking gas pedal. They will put their foot on that gas pedal, and they will try to, their damnedest, to rush around you as fast as possible. Not even knowing what's in that next lane. Could be one of these vehicles just getting on the highway, or getting off the shoulder, you know, going 30 miles an hour and everyone else is going 80. So then, boom, they're fucked. You gotta understand these things. You gotta know that this is coming. And yes, every accident is preventable. Just because you think that you're fine in your lane, trapped between two lanes, and if you think about it, yeah, a vehicle will swerve into your lane. It will happen, and you can't move faster or slower fast enough to avoid it, and you can't go into the other lanes because you're trapped. And then someone swerves in front of you, into you. Still your fault, in my eyes. Maybe not in insurance eyes. And if you're going to stick with that mentality, well, I wasn't in the wrong. If you're going to keep that mentality, welcome to some accidents, buddy. You need to think that four-wheeler, that truck, once I get close to those vehicles, they will no doubt try to hit me. They will no doubt do something to try to get me into an accident. So you need to think, how is that person going to be doing this? Now, this does require some level of experience and some level of IQ. However, if you just are patient and you take your time, you should be fine. If you do not, and you're low IQ, low, not much experience, you're not going to see these things as they happen. So, important to understand these things. And I definitely believe if you understand these things and you become a cautious defensive driver, you see one person slam on their brakes, even if it's a mile ahead, start slowing down. Start slowing down. And a lot of people will say, yeah, you need experience to understand that, or you need higher intellect to understand that. No, I just told you. I just told you, start slowing down. Yeah, you're going to waste a second of your time if it was a false alarm. However, there's a vehicle right next to me to the left. What do I do on a two-lane highway? I'm already sliding a little bit to the right. These trucks don't do that. I see a lot of you truck drivers not doing that. You have all of this shoulder. There's no broken glass. There's no reason not to use a little bit of it. This vehicle in front of me, from Florida, out here in cold-ass Wyoming with all these winds, he went into my lane. Guess what? He's going my speed now. He went fast to get around me. He can't stand that truck's in front of him. But the second he gets in front of me, he's not going much faster. So what happens? And this guy's going to check his phone, and his foot's going to get off the gas a little bit, and then he's going to look up and then slam on his brakes. Are you prepared for that? And, of course, all of these swerving vehicles, I'm trying to remember Alabama chicks. Here I go swerving. Look down for 1 second with these winds. Alabama chick, second. You're not going to combat these vehicles swerving into your lane, cutting you off. You're not going to be able to control that. No matter how smart you think you are by going bumper to bumper with the guy in front of you. trading one accident for another isn't smart. If you try to trade 0 accidents for 0 accidents, that's a smart trade. I think that was dumb. An accident for 0 accidents is a smart trade. Not 1 for 1. It's dumb. Don't do it. If you're one of these guys or see one of these guys that do it, you got to understand that truck that's doing that, that's going bumper to bumper with the next person in front of him to avoid people going in and out of his lane, what you're doing is you're not able to see in front of you. So when you do go into another lane or something, you're blind. What if that person in the other lane stopped completely and you're going 40 in your lane and you see a tiny opening because the guy next to you slowed down because there was stopped traffic right there, and boom, you go right in that lane and boom, you don't have time to react. You're already hitting a stopped truck or car or whatever. Don't get cocky, don't do shit that you don't see, and realize that there's a lot of people that have no idea on how to operate a vehicle on the road when there's trucks on the road. Understand that even if they are able to see you or see what's going on, put your mind there and say, well, this idiot is probably on his phone. This idiot is probably not paying attention. This idiot has no care in the world. This idiot just got laid off in their job. They aren't paying attention to this shit. There's other shit going on. The football game's on. They're listening to the radio, and they totally mind blank, low IQ, unaware. If you put yourself in that mindset of everyone's trying to get you, and you look at every vehicle and plan out, okay, this person's going to want to get in front of me, this person's going to want to stay in that lane and go faster, this person's trying to... Once you come up with that idea, that you're already coming up with the plans for these people because you're seeing their antics, and you're seeing what they're doing, how fast they're going, if they're going fast and slow, if they're slamming on their brakes sporadically. If they're doing things, you're going to recognize these things. And the most important thing is that don't go fast through cities. Those are the people that hit other people. Notice that these people in major cities or heavy traffic are the ones that you see in accidents. Always, 100% of the time, someone's going to slam on their brakes. Someone went too fast behind that person. And trucks slow down very slowly, especially when loaded. So, leave the room. You don't want to be getting into an accident and going through that route. Trust me, I know people that have totaled their vehicles, and yeah, they can't find work. No one's going to hire them. So you're going to lose your career. I mean, yeah, you're going to find some place. I know there's going to be some idiot out there that says, I know somebody who got in an accident and he got a job within a couple months. Yeah, okay, buddy. Okay, I get it. But it's going to be much more difficult. I know there's those people out there. That's why I started using the word essentially 50 times in my videos. Because some of you guys are anal about, well, I know a tall Asian named Yao Ming. Yeah, I know there's exceptions to the rule. There's a lot of short Asians. Like, you know, if I say Asians tend to be shorter, I have to use the word tend. Because if I say Asians are shorter, on average, well, not really. There's tall ones. Okay, buddy. Yeah, and I also know dwarves that are white, you know, from Nordic regions. You know, so it's like, there's exceptions. Anyways, I don't want to go through that tangent. It does piss me off that there's people that are anal about that shit. Now, there's going to be no way to prevent four-wheelers trying to attack you. There's going to be no way to prevent four-wheelers or any vehicle from cutting you off and shit like that. Truck drivers cut me off more than anybody. You guys think that four-wheelers do? Nah. These truck drivers suck. I'm going 80 in my lane, like I've told you guys many times. I'm going 80 in my lane, and that person's going 60, and he's governed at 62 because the vehicle in front of him's governed at 60. And he thinks, 2 miles an hour less than what I'm governed. And it pisses me off, so I'm going to look to this lane and realize there's a little bit of room, but I'm going 80, and they will just go in front of me. So what do? I see that this person's behind this other vehicle, and I know the second I see something happen, start slamming my brakes. Because I know what that person's doing. If you're like this behind a truck, and there's a little bit of lane open over here, you're going to want to get around them, and these idiots don't consider you. So 100%, I'm somebody that has 0 accidents. I've been driving with my knee since I've been 14. I'm an extremely skilled driver, much more skilled than most of these drivers out here. Much more, like it's no comparison. And, you know, these people that tell me, oh, you can't make videos while you're driving. Maybe you can't make videos while you're driving, and I don't encourage you to make videos when you're driving. But you got to stay safe. And I'm going to just leave you with that. I'm going to leave you with everyone's trying to hit you, and it takes 2 to get into an accident. Start being more cautious. And this goes with more than just bad traffic. This goes with bad weather conditions. This goes with construction zones, which is technically bad traffic. And understand that everyone is trying to kill you. So read everybody. Understand what they are trying to do. It's going to be day 1 you're going to figure people out. Day 1 you're going to start getting these people 90% correct. Oh, this person's going fast. This person's going around me. No shit. This person's going fast, but there's an exit coming up, so he might come into my lane and slam on his brakes to get off at that exit. Happens every fucking day. So day 1, you should be figuring this shit out. Day 1, you're going to be a much better driver. That's it for this video. Stay tuned for more content. Plenty more coming. See you guys.